Newspeak.com.
Rate subject to change. Pay 0.88% fee to receive this discounted rate. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. License in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Police in Northern Ireland say a bomb has exploded close to the Irish border, but there are no reports of injuries.
The security operation began on Saturday near the village of Newton Butler, which is close to the border with the Irish Republic. Police received a warning that a bomb had been left in the area. It's understood they discovered a hoax device last night. When officers carried out follow-up searches this morning, a bomb exploded. It's likely the attack was the work of dissident Republicans who are opposed to the peace process. In the past, they've targeted police by luring them into an area with a fake bomb and planting a real explosive device nearby. Northern Ireland's Deputy Chief Constable, Stephen Martin, has said the attack was reckless and indiscriminate.
The BBC's Chris Page. The U.S. will extend by 90 days the ability of Chinese telecommunications giant Huawei to buy supplies from U.S. companies. It's the second extension for Huawei, a company that the U.S. sees as a national security risk. News and analysis at townhall.com. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson is under increasing pressure to recall Parliament after leaked government documents warned of widespread shortages and border delays if the United Kingdom leaves the European Union without a withdrawal agreement. Correspondent Jeremy House has more on the story.
While economists have long predicted such grim scenarios, Brexit backers have dismissed the forecast as scaremongering. The opposition Labour Party spokesman on Treasury issues, John McDonnell, supports the demands of more than 100 lawmakers who signed a letter demanding that Johnson cut short Parliament's summer recess to permit debate on the Brexit crisis. Johnson is expected to underscore his commitment to leave the EU on October 31st, with or without a deal later this week when he meets with German Chancellor Angela Merkel and French President Emmanuel Macron ahead of the next G7 summit. Jeremy House reporting.
Johnson urged Parliament to listen to compromise. More on these stories at townhall.com.
The following is an America Matters media production. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the station or its advertisers, although we think they should. But that's the opinion of America Matters Media.
Stories we've told, stories we've told, it's at the end of time. Stories we've told, stories we've told, till the end of time. Said someone rise.
Welcome to What's the Story? My name is Janice Hermsen, and I am your host, and we have a full set today. Man, it's crowded in here.
Really?
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Yeah, that's April Kempler. She's one of my co-hosts.
Awesome here today. What a crowd.
Mr. Ed Noel.
Fighting over laptop space.
We are, aren't we?
A little bit. It's all good, man. It's all good.
I know, I can't move this one anymore.
Push a button, Doug.
What can I tell you? Push a button, Doug. What the heck?
Well,
Get
thank you.
real.
That's almost a compliment, isn't it?
It was, yeah.
Tuck that tag in, Doug.
He's taking care of you. And then we have Doug Ashby.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
I know you were here last week, but,
Yeah.
you know, it's still kind of new. And you're wearing yellow and you're on the wrong side of the table.
I know. I looked at April. This is the first time she hasn't been at something very,
You're
very
not
bright.
in anything really colorful today. How
Blue.
unusual.
It looks nice.
Yes, very
But
nice.
you've kind of adopted Ed's philosophy.
No.
Blasé.
You know what? Did you notice? Did you notice it didn't even matter what philosophy of mine it was? No. It was like no. Man, there was nothing possible.
Wow.
That's going to be an exciting show today.
I can tell. Wow, I'm just amazed.
Hey,
We
he's
blend
got
in
two
on this
donuts
side.
on board. 2 donuts and 2 Snickers on board.
Oh, no.
And some Joe Cool Brew.
We're in
happy.
big trouble now. Wow. All right, and then we have, sitting next to April, who's taking a drink. This is a great time for me to introduce you, right, Scott? Scott Addis is here.
Hello.
And Scott, I'm going to let you introduce your guest and teammate.
Yes, Nicholas Aburl, correct?
Aprilly.
Aberly.
Ah,
Sorry.
see? You're supposed to practice that ahead of time.
I know, but I was practicing my own name, and
We've only worked together for 2 years now, so it's fine.
Well, we're on a first name basis.
That's
so
right.
It's
So
never
who
come
knows
up.
about last names,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
this is my wife, Dorothy. This is Nick. Anyhow, and he is our communication director for Team Rage.
All right, and we're going to talk about Team Rage in just a moment. And I just want to kind of say to everybody, I hope you all had a nice weekend. I spent the weekend doing birthday party again, which was lots of fun, of course. My family always has a birthday somewhere, right?
Crazy.
Did you go? I know, it is.
I did nothing.
Oh, my granddaughter was 18 years old, and we gave her a surprise party.
Oh, how
It was
awesome.
so cool. It was very fun, very fun. So she was expecting it next week, and so my daughter said, no, we're going to surprise her. She's 18. And then she had to go, she's going to UNR this year, so she had to go from the party. So she was all emotional, right? Because, sorry, Caitlin. but because it's emotional, right? You get the surprise party at the same time. She didn't bring any of her stuff because she didn't know. And then she had to go to a class on Saturday. And I don't remember what the name of the program is, but it's when they're first going in and
Nevada Fit.
that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Nevada Fit. So she was going to Nevada Fit.
Yeah, the most intense thing you have. You have what is it? This week it's all at 10 o'clock in the morning till 10 or 8, 11
Yeah,
o'clock in
it's
the morning till 10 o'clock.
10
tonight.
o'clock at night, yeah. And they live out in Carson City, so it's a bit of a trek. Luckily, the first night she didn't have to stay till 10. I guess they got them out early or something. So, so it's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
It's really cool. I was going to say, in today's world, what's 18 mean?
Ah,
Right?
she
You
said-
can be drafted.
She told me
Can you be
I'm an
drafted
adult.
still?
On that note, my wife's birthday is the 18th of next month, so remember that too. She'd love a surprise party.
Since my
house is-
birthday.
my house is the perfect place for it.
I'm sure there'll be one already going on, so just go
Oh yeah,
on
we
over.
have 3 birthdays in September. So yeah, September's a big month, like June.
So we'll crash and nobody will
There you
know.
go. Everybody can come. Yeah, come on over. Hey, you know what? You live just down the street now, Craig. So you ought to come and crash our parties. Turn on your mic, Craig.
Oh, he's
Turn on your
silent.
mic.
You know, the funny thing is, I have my apartment complex. We have this giant community room that's
Yes, I know.
It's
Those are
huge,
nice.
so-
Those are nice. So as our parties get bigger,
we can actually start having
we can
them there,
just we can just invite them over
Migrate.
there. That's right.
I don't know. It sounds to me like a good place to have a show from.
I know.
Poolside,
That would be
dude.
really
Oh,
fun.
unfortunately, we don't have a pool.
Oh, he's backsliding
No
now.
pool?
No pool.
Oh,
yeah.
all right.
They don't want us old folks with no lifeguards out there.
You're hardly old, sir. Ah,
Well, there's
so-
a 55 and up community. So.
I know. So, Scott, let's get a little bit, because we only have a couple minutes. It's always this way on the first segment. We're a little short because of the news. But American Cancer Society, tell us.
We have an event coming
What's
up
going on?
September 14th. It's one of their big fundraisers
Okay.
annually. It's Relay for Life. They have it in, let's see, let me get some facts for you.
Oh, why?
Since
Oh,
Patrick's
come
not
on.
here.
I like when you just make
Okay.
stuff up.
It's really good when you make it up.
Let me
more
make
fun.
it up.
Well, I
So,
think most people know what Relay for Life is,
It's
if you've been around for a while.
It's done in more than 5,200 communities and in 20 countries.
Wow.
So
that
this
I
is
didn't know.
this is global. This
Yeah.
isn't just the community. It's not just national. This is worldwide. Cancer is very indiscriminate. They don't. It chooses to go everywhere, anywhere. Old, young, male, female, doesn't matter. So September 14th is the event. This year they opted to do a 6-hour versus a 12-hour last year. Unfortunately, they told me that after I came up with the idea of a 1,000,001 challenge.
Uh-oh.
And I'll get more in depth into that here shortly.
Yes, and we'll have to have Nicholas share some information with us too. And so you're on the team, Nicholas?
Yes, I am helping Scott with his marketing and communications and whatnot to really spread his message digitally.
Nice. Because we know he doesn't know how to do
He's the
that.
IT guy.
I'm the old guy, right?
Not only old, I'm old. I know how to do that, but you just don't do it.
Does anybody remember the Underwood typewriter? That's all I can say.
Not that we'd admit to.
Wow.
I actually,
There
just so
you
you
go.
guys know, there was a class in high school called personal typing, and I took it.
Oh.
I took typing in high school.
There you go.
I'm a little
These
older.
youngsters.
I'm
These
a little
youngsters.
older. I took telegraph.
Morse code.
Oh, we're going to talk more about that. All right. Well, we have to take a quick break here. If you're listening on Facebook, we will still be with you there. You can ask questions if you have any, and we'll share that with you. We'll be right back. You're listening to What's the Story?
We're talking to Victor from Precision Diamonds. Victor, I don't know anything about jewelry at all. I don't know anything about diamonds. I need to get something for my lady.
But you got a lot in. That was good.
Yeah.
That was very good. So
Ed, my first computer was in high school, freshman in high school. It was where you had the TTY, you had the typing, and then you had the modem that you had to put the phone in the cradle to actually talk to the university computer.
Wow.
And then then your whole project as you were doing it printed out on the Tinker tape. So if you had to proof it, you had
people
to
don't even know what ticker tape is.
You had to actually run it through the machine
I
to
bet you don't know
actually
what ticker
get your
tape is.
program to play back.
So
Okay.
well, I'm
I'm
going to tell you,
surprised.
I've been in mortgage, right, almost 25 years. When I started, there were no cell phones or email, right? You had to sit
That's
there
right.
and wait on that decision to come in at Friday at 5 o'clock or 5:15. You couldn't be on a phone, right?
Right.
You had to be there because it was coming. It was coming via phone call that you didn't have a, handheld and or fax.
An old facsimile machine.
And so you had to hang at the office or just be there all the time.
How about the mimeograph machine with that you had?
Okay, in the fire service, all they had was smoke towers. Just kidding.
I love it.
And a guy up
some
there with
wilderness areas,
binoculars.
Yeah, exactly.
In some wilderness areas, they still do, but now they've upgraded
Oh,
in California.
that's funny.
99% of them are cameras.
I
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
hand crank Victrola in my house with albums.
Are we streaming today?
Yes, they're hearing
We
all
are.
of this.
Oh, joy.
A lady that I know is listening, and she's saying, "I'm on Facebook. How do I stream it?" So
Nice.
that's Cheryl.
Oh, my
Hi,
nephew
Cheryl.
just jumped on. Oh, that's nice.
I'll find you.
Travis just jumped on?
No, my other nephew.
Oh, other nephew.
Joe in L.A.
Do you only have two in your whole big giant family?
No,
Who's my other
another
nephew?
The two that
should
I
have
know
said.
of.
Yeah, the two. Well, you know Rob too.
Oh, that's
don't
true,
you?
I do know
Yeah,
Rob.
yeah.
Right, we have like cousins that we claim and ones we don't, right? Oh, they don't listen to the
Just
show.
like show hosts and co-hosts.
Same.
Oh,
It
my
is
goodness.
the same.
Yes. That's interesting. So I can't. Oh, there you go. Wow, they've really changed the options on the stream here because I was trying to get on there and it's only allowing me to be what's the story, and I was trying to do my own personal, but I found it.
I
found it.
I did a watch party and shared, or did a watch party. I guess I didn't share.
Here we go. Stand by. And Jan, we're going to surprise Bobby Joe.
You're so nice.
You're listening, Bobby Joe? No, because you're not. on
Did you listen to it? What do you think of it? It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. I'm surprised everybody here too.
Ed raises his hand.
Yeah.
Liar. Welcome back. This is What's the Story? I'm Janice Hermsen. I'm your host, and we have a full set today, and I want to get right to our guests, Scott Addis and Nicholas, his buddy. Did you like the way I avoided the name?
Very nice. Very nice.
And they are doing what is called Team Rage. Yes?
Team Rage is the name of the team.
For the American Cancer Society.
And the Relay for Life.
And the Relay for Life. So tell us about this huge challenge that you created. I mean, it's huge.
So last year we had 12 hours. The event was 12 hours long, and part of the event is structured around walking and the idea that cancer doesn't sleep. People stricken by cancer don't get to rest. So for one day, we're not going to rest. So last year was a 12-hour event, and based on that, I did about 55,000 steps in about 10 3/4 hours. So I thought, well, how about if we put a team together that represents a community and see what we can do? So my idea was to come up with a 1 million step challenge in 12 hours. Well, after we came up with the great idea, so we call it the 1 million and one, and one is spelled W-O-N because it's winning a fight against cancer. So it was a great idea, and then they dropped it that we're only going to do 6 hours this year. So I thought, well, either I better go hang out at UNR and get all these young people here to really step it up and double time it,
Step
or
it up.
I'm going to have to double size my team.
Right.
So taking into account all the numbers, I'm looking for 160 walkers to join Team Rage between now and September 14th when the event's actually taking place.
Do they have to be here?
Preferably, yes, only because we have the track. It's at Damani Ranch High School.
I gotcha.
So,
all right, we need 161 walkers. How many
Yeah.
do you have so far?
well, I'm pretty lonely right now, I'll tell you. I've got the good Lord myself and one other.
I'm going to tell you, there's some good listeners out
That's
there
right. We've
who
got great
believe in this
listeners.
cause, and I would
That's
tell you
right.
that I would be there and participating. If fall, I'll be in Idaho backpacking.
Okay.
So I'll be doing my steps. They won't count, but I'll be
That's
doing
okay.
some
There you
steps.
go. There you go.
But I know there's lots of listeners, and I often say that, my father passed. I was 19. He was 39 of cancer, and my family has many members that have been stricken with cancer. Virtually nothing else.
Everybody.
But cancer's a big pain in my ass.
It's one of the big three. Everybody's been affected by it. While I was actually training for last year's walk, because to do the almost 26 miles, I did actually have to train for that. I didn't realize, and I wasn't aware, that one of my good acquaintances passed away in September while I was training for last year's event. Last year, I was celebrating my mom's passing from cancer. So while I was training for that, I lost someone else, and I didn't find out till after the event. So this year is dedicated to Mason, who was a railroad employee that I knew him and his wife very well. His wife is a local author. So this year I'm dedicating my walk to them.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, Nicholas, and I'm sorry if I'm intruding on your space here, but I'm curious to know, how are you going to reach the folks so that Scott isn't walking all night by himself?
All month.
Or with you, rather.
Yeah. Well, this is a big part of it, is just getting the word out, because right now it's just social media and just kind of word of mouth, and it's still very grassroots, so it's very much people we know, and so it's trying to reach people that we don't know, and so this is
Okay.
a big step into that direction.
How do they sign up?
So you go online, if you search American Cancer Society or Relay for Life and Team Rage, it'll bring you right to the sign-up page, and you fill out the information there.
Okay. And what time? Give me some facts as far as, if I want to join.
3 to 9. It's at Damani Ranch High School.
It's near my house.
Right, and September 14th. You can always show up early. We need volunteers for other things other than walking. We will have booths there. We're looking for corporate sponsors to donate items which we can use for fundraising. We're reaching out to some of the local grocers to provide nutritional snacks and things of that nature.
Can they call if they want to help? How
They
can they get a hold of you?
Get a
Just
hold
to-
of me via Brandon's Hand at att.net. That's my personal email. Or reach out to me through the American Cancer Society. Get a hold of the local office here and send them a message, and they can reach out to me. Just reach out and touch someone.
Brandon's Hand at att.net.
att.net.
Okay, I just posted that for you on our page. So get a hold of Scott so that he can have some help, be a walker, whatever. I just want you to know, I just put in American Cancer Society, Team Rage, and I come up with American Cancer Society. So now where do I go? Because it's not, you know what I mean?
It should be, there should be.
Sorry, I'm live and I
That's
do
o-
this and
that's
I
okay.
apologize. But
No, that's okay.
I want to make sure
I
that
can't see
anybody
your
who's
screen.
trying, I know.
If it says fundraising.
Cancer affects us all. Cancer Society, information, resources. Here we go. Cancer marathons, triathlons, and endurance events. That's it?
That should be it.
Yay.
I mean, you can actually
I just
punch
want to
in-
help people really find
Right.
this.
Well,
I
yes,
want
you
them
did the steps. 'Cause then
exactly.
people are like, I can't
Yep.
find it.
Yeah,
Where
and
do
I don't want you to lose folks because they
And
can't
if
get
you
to it.
punch in Relay for Life, it might
That might
come
be
up.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Search for Relay for Life.
2019.
Okay, yeah, that's probably the best way to go. Do Relay for Life 2019. If I could type and not talk
you
and type, you walk and chew gum.
Bye. Bye.
Here
right?
it is.
Let's go.
Relay for Life, Cancer Walk, American Cancer Society. There you go. That is perfect. So make sure you do that. You need to come back and remind us all about this and give us an update on the teams and
Will do.
You know,
Will
all
do.
of that. What else do you guys want to share with our audience?
Well,
you
the
know, I
million-
wanted to get this part out though.
The
so that-
million step walk is the awareness part, but we also want to raise funds because a lot of the services that American Cancer Society offers to people fighting the disease. And there's transportation. I wish Patrick was able to have called in today. He's the regional events coordinator and director for Northern Nevada and Northern California, but he wasn't able to. But they offer so many services to people here in our area.
Yeah, and if you have not done a Relay for Life, I am reading here that each team sets up a themed campsite at the event and continues their fundraising efforts. So you're going to want to get some money. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's $1, if it's $10, if it's $5,000. It all counts,
Yes,
right?
yes, it
I mean,
does.
that's the key here.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, look at our silly politicians. I was going to say something else. Silly politicians out there. They're getting small donors, grassroots donors, and they're making lots of money. Let's do this for a really
Seems
good
to me
cause.
like we could just peel away about 20 presidential contenders and have them give their pack
There you
to the
go.
American Cancer
There
Society.
you go.
Yeah,
Perfect. I
case
like it.
done.
Now, in all fairness, the American Cancer Society is a very large organization. I know a lot of people are skittish about donating to organizations of that size because they worry about the trickle down. In respect and response to that, we have also taken on the secondary chore of raising money for My Hometown Heroes, which is, as you've had Danny on the show
Yep.
before, he provides a scholarship program for young adults who have battled and beat cancer, and it helps them with their college funding.
Perfect.
So
you can be sure that at least a piece of that is going
Right.
to an excellent cause locally, right?
Correct.
So
So
that's
we've got both ways to fund.
And you know, I was involved with the MS Society for a while, and there was the same kinds of challenges. You know, you had your local and you had your national. And national, it seemed like, at least, you know, the appearance is always, they're taking it all.
Right.
You know, so it's nice to know that it's staying in the community. We did the same kind of thing, so that's great. That's really good. Okay, so remember, go to search for Relay for Life because that's where you're going to find it. Do you guys have anything on, do you have a Facebook page at this point, or are you just reaching out to
We
others?
have a site on the Relay for Life.
Okay.
We haven't customized it yet. We have a third person, Riley, who will be doing that. That's her field of expertise.
Okay, well, I can tell you have to come back because you're going to have to update us and make sure that we can grab more people. You can give us an update on how many people have joined, and we'll just keep after this.
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, you only have a month, and we got to have folks, and we got to have 1 million steps. 1,000,001.
1,000,001.
See, I got it.
Everybody,
got it right off.
Everybody takes steps.
You did.
That's right.
And bring your Fitbits, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Your phone, right? Isn't there a phone? I mean, I use Map My
Oh yeah, I
Run
use
or
my
something.
phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so each lap, 1 million steps equates to about 500 miles. I roughed it out, which is about 2,000 laps around that track.
And,
so it should
and
be
what's each
interesting.
person going to have to do?
Depends how many people show up.
If you get 161, how many do I have to
It's
do?
only about 3 miles, so it's
Oh,
only
heck,
about
I can do 3 miles. Shoot.
12 laps.
12 laps.
12
Oh,
laps.
that's not bad. All right, let's get 161 people. I don't want to do more than 3 miles.
I was going to say you ought to go get those football players. My son's one of those.
I'll be calling my kids.
He would say the coach only has them do half that many steps in like 2 hours.
All right.
Yeah.
Scott, Nicholas, thank you very much. Thank you for your dedication. The people out there really do appreciate you, I'm sure. So thanks for coming on the show.
Sure. And we
All
will
right.
be back.
Yes, we will.
Hey, you guys rock
He just
it,
took us
man.
out.
Exactly.
Rock it.
All right, we'll be right back. It was well done, Scott.
Very
And we
good.
will be back.
A smooth exit.
Turn off your mic.
Yeah. Craig's back there dying.
He is.
I gave them the rules.
It's hard. Come on.
Remember us? It took a month, I think.
I know.
I'm still not caught
Thank
up.
you guys very much. We'll have you come back and let's do this again. Yeah.
By then we'll have the website up and kick in.
Good to see you, Scott.
Yes.
Really good.
May have a second for you.
Nice to meet
meeting
you. What's that?
both,
Yes.
Even though I didn't really meet you.
I know. It was a short thing, but we'll do it again so that we can get things rolling.
Expand, give them a running tally of how we're doing.
Awesome.
161 people. That's a lot of people.
Yes, it is. Or it's a really long, lonely walk.
It is. Well, I'm gonna, if I can find somebody to be at my house. then
Can't drink with this microphone
I will
here.
join you.
It's hard.
Thank you. Even if I can only join for a little while. Okay, so I'm on your team. I just don't know how long I can. All right? You can count me in.
That sounds like Craig.
I was say you can find old people like me walking at the mall.
Do you, Janice, do you want me to stay here or move over?
I don't care. Whatever you want.
Come over here.
Okay.
Well, I guess.
Well, so this is so I can throw things down on you, right? From
On
up
his head.
top. Right. All right. Man, now you got to be like mobile.
Yeah.
That's another skill set. Right?
So in honor of you, April, I can't get this to clip.
I know.
It won't clip.
Well, I've learned to do it over here on the side. I'm wearing better tops. I'm learning.
There you go.
I need a new.
Jan,
Yes.
clip it on the nipple ring.
You know what? My uncle's still in Ohio. I was going to say he's got one. I know he's got one. Buster, if you're listening out there, we know. We're telling the world.
That's
I should have said that right before the break, right before you came back, shouldn't I?
That's so funny.
I'm sorry, Doug. I got crowding you now. You got the like overflow over there. Everybody crowded into your space. Ooh, look at all this room I have now.
Elbow room.
Yeah, all the room that you can block your sign with.
Oh, am I?
No.
Ed, you do seem in a good
We did
mood
well,
today.
didn't we?
Huh?
Are you in
We
good
were
mood
good.
today? Are you in a good mood today?
Most
know.
always.
I saw.
I'm a little edgy
Today? Why?
every day lately
Oh, why?
because it's a status I need to stay in.
Oh,
I think.
okay. You need to sit.
Because I'm nice, you know, I don't move people.
I'm sorry. It's rough.
You gotta get people to buy stuff, Ed. If you're not if you
is
don't get
hard.
people to buy stuff, you're worthless.
You know what I'm finding, Ed?
Welcome. Oh, I forgot. I forgot we had Book Blitz now.
What?
Yeah, I better get my book.
Are you ready with?
Yeah. It's not a big segment, but it's.
Okay, we're gonna do it during this segment.
Yeah, I think I could do it.
So I won't do a book. So you'll have
Oh,
to-
okay.
I could go either way, but I can do that either way.
Okay.
Welcome back. Yes. Welcome back. This is What's the Story?
We're all adults.
Yes.
Discombobulated or something.
It's a little discombobulated
Well, when
today.
we have so
Well,
many
when Ed's
guests.
mic is under his chin and we can't hear a word he's saying, he needs to raise his mic up.
He needs to raise his mic up, Ed.
It's
You
not-
know what? I thought I did appropriate action.
No, raise your mic
The
up in front of your mouth where we can hear
How'd you like that?
Wait, I was just saying it took us a while and we got it, but I guess we still don't have it.
I don't think we have it.
You know what? You were in the right direction. You should have just kept going.
It is so good.
It's a wonderful day in the neighborhood.
It is.
And this is time for the Book Blitz, and then Reno Gal says.
Yes.
We're just sailing through today.
Oh, we are.
We are. That first
Super fast.
half just seemed like
it was fun.
You know, but it seemed like it just went through so fast, and it's such a difficult, you know, we were talking about that and at the break, such a difficult subject. It's hard because, you know, we always have we kick around here and have a lot of fun and eat our candy and get crazy. But, you know, it's hard because it's very serious, and we do take it seriously. So I did put a note on here, sign up if you're in Reno for Team Rage Relay for Life. We need to do 1,000,000 steps. I have committed. I'm going to do something. Unfortunately, my time is a little bit structured on the weekend, so it's hard, but I'm going to be there for part of it at least.
Sounds
So,
cool. I think I'll sign up too.
Good.
You know,
Let's go together.
A couple years ago.
We'll walk together.
A couple years ago.
She'll walk faster than me, though.
I cut my hair for donation for
right.
Locks of Love. You could donate to any hair
Yeah.
place of your picking. But I had a lot of friends that were sick. I had some people had just passed away, and I can't do much. But I have hair, so and I like to donate that to make.
Would you like to run so you can walk? We'll walk together.
Oh yeah, we can. I walked today. I didn't even feel the running.
There you go.
She's got hair and she knows how to lose it.
Excellent.
I'm going to do it again, just as good
for you.
So are you committing to walk with Jan?
No.
Well, that's what I'm talking about here. You guys know each other. She tried to sell you, and you weren't a buyer.
I'm sorry. I
you
have
were
to
not
look at
a buyer.
let me look at the calendar.
September
Oh,
14th.
there's another
There you go.
excuse. There's another pusher.
Oh, I'm sorry. She's out of the country.
Yeah.
That's all right. I'm going to annoy her, and I'm going to
That works here.
encourage. How's
Yes.
that?
Okay, I need to process.
Yeah, I know. I understand. But I've processed, and I'm signing up.
But I'm not afraid to commit to a cause such as that. It's wonderful.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All
Cool.
right.
Cool beans.
All
Are
right.
we doing a book blitz?
We're
or
doing
what?
a book blitz.
Okay.
What book do you have
Okay,
today, April?
I love books that are made into movies, and sometimes I just watch them first. So this is The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. And it's about a young boy. He's 13 years old, and he survives an accident that kills his mother. He is abandoned by his father, and then he is taken in. What is going on? This is a sad story. Nothing funny.
Well, I know. How did you choose this? This isn't upbeat.
Well, hold on a second.
Oh,
No one's died yet.
Oh, yes, they have.
Yeah, the mother died.
Yeah,
it's
her
like
mom
a
died.
Disney. It's like a
Abandoned
Disney
by
movie.
his dad.
Disney movies always have the mother die.
Yeah, they do.
Always. So anyhow, not to. All right. Where was I? He's bewildered by his strange new home on Park Avenue. He's disturbed by schoolmates who don't know how to talk to him, and tormented above all by longing for his mother. He clings to the one thing that reminds him of her: a small, mysteriously captivating painting that ultimately draws him into a wealthy and insular art community. So now he skip forward. He's an adult, and he moves among the rich and the famous and their art, and he Donna Tartt's more of a literary writer, so you're not going to get a good suspense with climaxes, but you're going to get a steady story. And this is also a movie that's coming out very soon, so it's The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt.
Wahoo! Well done.
Thank you.
Somebody's got to be on your side.
And why are you so surprised it's sad?
Okay, all
We already
right.
know I'm dark.
Oh, this is going to be terrible for what I just said too, because
What is your book?
The Proof of Heaven.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Well,
Death after death after death.
Yeah, I mean,
That's another book. I'll bring that in
we
later.
talk about cancer, then we talk about this poor chap.
Oy
that's-
vey, may I
No,
say.
this, and it's the reason I've actually read this book.
opposed to ones we don't know anything about.
No, come on, you laughed before I finished my sentence. I've actually read this book a couple of times. Because I enjoy it so much. There is, it's called Proof of Heaven. It's a neurosurgeon's
I've read it.
journey into the afterlife, and it's all positive. And one of the things that he says is that he didn't believe in near-death experiences. So
yes, he was truly a scientist.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so he took a scientific view of it, so perhaps his peers could come online. And what it was is that he lost the portion of his brain that has rational thought, so he says it couldn't have been a near-death experience. So it had to be something else, and that is what he wrote about. And it's just a convincing journey that he took into the afterlife and the things that happened. And it's very, very motivational. I really recommend it. I have, like I say, I've read it twice because I like the ending. It's something for, well,
don't give it away.
No, I won't. Kind of a short story. I was emailing one of my fraternity brothers over the weekend, and he knew that on Sundays we go to church, and he wrote me and he says, "Are you studying for the final?" And that didn't register at first. And then I wrote him back, "What are you talking about?"
Oh, we have the heavenly music.
We do. We have heavenly music going on.
Speaking of final, huh?
The angels are there. There they are. I hear
Goodness.
That's really nice. Now I want to hear what April music is, right? So we're going to go to the devil on that side, right? We got angel, devil. I think it's awesome.
I think it's time for you to tell your book.
Music.
So mine's more aligned with April and how to master the art of selling. Sell, right? Tom Hopkins is the author. He's written many books, including, Closing for Dummies. And I'm kind of got like this irritation about selling lately. Salesmen have a bad name, right? For selling, right? Salesmen, make jokes of them. Can't live without them. And people that are, I'm going to tell you, man, nobody makes any money, right? And so
you're always being sold.
To me, fundamental selling is how many people did you ask this week to buy whatever you're selling? If the answer's 0, you ain't selling any, right? It's that simple.
You need to think about
marketing is just another way to ask for the business.
Right. But
social media, email, you got to ask for the business, and that's what we do. And please pick up this book if you guys have questions about selling. Sell.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay.
All right. It's time for Reno Gal Says.
But
what does the Reno
real
Gal say?
Quick, I saw this in the Reno News and Review, and it is. I don't know.
Life stories.
I don't know which way I should. Here's my face.
That's good. Yeah.
That's right. And it's life stories, and I was really captivated because this looks like a World War II couple, and it was the last copy in the bin. And what it is, real quick, is at the VA hospital, they are interviewing these veterans, and it doesn't have to be veterans of World War II, or it could be any veteran who it goes into their medical history. So when the doctor is treating them, not only does he see what their past medications are or their problems, or they can see what their life story was, where they came from, and who they are. And they say it's really helpful for their medical care to get people on to thinking about who they are. And so it highlighted a couple of the stories. One of the ladies, she's 101. Another one is 99. Then another guy, he's in his 60s. And fascinating stories. I enjoyed reading them. But I thought, to me, this is a very important part of all of our lives, our personal history. And one of the things that a project I'd like to do is interviews of people and their life stories. And why shouldn't it be in any of our medical records, for that matter?
That's interesting.
We all have a story, and this is what's the story.
That's right.
So I thought, what a great tie-in.
Yeah.
But I'm forgetting something important about this that I wanted to share, and I can't.
You can't wrap it around.
I can't remember what the heck it was I was trying to say, but I was just captivated because I love personal stories. Oh, the way that they do it is they do an interview process, and it mostly takes a couple hours, but then some of the stories are a little longer, so they have to come back, and then they transcribe it. Then they keep it in the vernacular of the person, so it's their voice.
Oh,
and then they put a
nice.
binder together with pictures, and they hand it to the person, as well as it being in the medical record.
Wow.
So I thought this was such a great story.
You know,
Awesome.
one of the real quick things is that I lost my dad, and I lost an uncle who was a bomber pilot during World War II. And even though I talked to him, now that they're gone, I wish I would have asked this, and I
Right,
wish. So
right.
anybody that's listening that still has that opportunity, sit down and,
take
like you say,
advantage.
talk with
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
I will address that after the break, but we
Okay.
have to go on the break. That was not Reno Gal Says, right?
I thought it was.
Oh, was it? Okay. Oh, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure. I thought you were doing something else. Awesome. Well, I'm glad. That's awesome.
It was a quick one.
We will be right back, and we're going to talk about language.
Yes.
We'll be right back.
Terrific.
Uh-oh, you're in trouble now.
I don't know.
It's probably a bill collector.
Hello.
I like what you just said.
Oh, thank you.
And I've been interviewing the homeless
Okay.
day, week to
Yeah.
Is there any way I can contact you?
Through what's the story? Yeah, absolutely.
What does he want?
He wants to contact me. Do you have a card?
I do.
Do you have something?
You need it.
And
Go-
for
and-
Noel.
well, that's going on at
I love it.
that's going on at
We both
the
need it.
I just think
hospital,
we're
the
way,
Veterans
all of
Hospital.
us, too passive
okay.
in sales.
Too passive?
Oh, okay.
I want to hear about the homeless story.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like I
That's
said,
true.
unless someone
Yeah, if you contact me, I'll make
calls you arrogant and tells you to quit shoving that
Thank
down
you.
their throat, you haven't offended anybody.
No, I was scared.
What? What a compliment.
Yeah, that was really nice.
That's,
I
I
guess
mean,
that was
that's,
very nice.
That was a powerful. What's this?
I put it over there because I know you need it.
But you need to be prepared and have an email address to give, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, whether it's
I
your,
kind of do.
whether you're, well,
I do and I don't.
Does anybody in this room know who that was?
No.
Okay. Remember Lloyd Gotchi's shoes,
No.
Ed?
yeah,
That's Lance Gotchi,
Really?
Lloyd's brother.
nice.
He didn't have shoes on
He has
That might
sandals.
tell you about their business.
or their
Yeah.
relationship.
How
No,
well
no,
they
no.
fit.
Lloyd passed a lot of years ago. Lance is a philanthropist. He gives away the money.
He he had flip flops on,
Yes.
so he wasn't barefoot. I
Really nice guy.
seemed very nice, very nice.
But
He's
that's part
swimming-
of
he's-
selling, right? Why don't you give
He's-
them your book
This weekend
email
on Saturday,
address,
he's swimming across Pyramid Lake.
right? Those are things you
That
guys.
man?
Yes, that man.
Those are things you guys need to do with selling. Is have an email prepared. Maybe it's the name of your book, right?
Well,
That-
I guess my Reno Gal Says was a pretty good segment.
Well,
And
right,
I
but
apologize. I didn't realize. I thought you were saying, "Oh, let me just do this, and then I'll do Reno Gal Says," and I'm waiting for you to wrap it so that you could do it. And I thought, "Oh,
No,
I
that
guess
was it. I heard.
but the
you know,
question is to
I
get
mixed it,
Thanks,
obviously.
to get
No,
others,
it was my fault. I'm sure I was not.
to get biggest
It's fine.
challenges in email accounts because you're going to be sending them,
I did it fast.
right?
I just misunderstood.
In fact, I was losing my thought. Like I was wanting to talk about the process because of the process I did with Joe. It was.
But
the
you made magic.
Oh man, it was 20 hours.
You made
of
magic with that
interview.
guy, and you got to get a contact and make that
I'm
go
sure
further.
he'll contact you.
I'm sure he will.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
good.
but you can't in sales, right? You can't
I'm
assume.
the worst
Here we
salesperson.
go.
You got to change it.
Do you have any announcements you want to make or anything? Okay, that's fine. I've got plenty. I
Oh,
just,
good. No, I don't have
just-
anything.
No, she's just waiting for the next 11 minutes and 34 seconds to go by so she can leave.
No, I am not. I'm waiting for the next person to say how wonderful I am.
Oh my.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Welcome back. This is What's the Story, and I'm Janice Hermsen here with my three co-hosts. I've got April Kempler,
Hi, Jan.
Ed Noel,
Howdy, hi.
Doug Ashby. Yes, I remembered your name, and you got your mouth full of candy. He didn't think I was going to remember. That's why. Oh. So I had an interesting weekend. I told you guys I did the whole, birthday thing. But I'm not big on responding to things on social media, right? I don't usually do a lot of that. This weekend, for some reason, I guess I decided I was going to.
She got a bee in her bonnet.
Not really. It was just, are you on Nextdoor Digest at all? Okay, so there's a website called Nextdoor Digest, right? And are you on that? Okay, so you might have seen my post. No?
It's mostly neighborhood gossip.
It is mostly, however.
And who's knocking on doors, so
yeah, exactly.
I don't really read it that closely.
Right. Well, this one thing caught my eye because it says, input needed, attend a focus group on a new city program called, are you ready for it? Community Collectives.
Ooh.
I wanted to see what you would say. What reaction do you have to that? Is it like, no big deal? I mean, what's your reaction?
To me, that's a term, collective, is used with agricultural groups.
Okay.
Right, and so it's a collection of family farms either selling eggs or milk
or
so those kinds. That's my space.
Or sharing like they do in Smith Valley, the equipment that they have on the side of the road. Any of the farms can come take and use the equipment at any time.
Did you have any particular reaction to that?
Nope.
Nope. He's got candy in his mouth.
He's trying to collective his thoughts.
That could very well be. Well, both my sister and I had the same reaction. It was like, what? Why are they calling this a collective, right? Because to me, a collective is a negative term, a very negative term.
It seems like something you're forced to share.
Right.
They take it like they come and take you over and make you do something else.
The collective, the cult.
Right, exactly. That was the reaction we had.
I think I
and then there was somebody on this thing that said the same thing. Collectives have been one of the words associated with communists and also Chinese work groups. Just saying, right?
Yeah.
Well, I just said, my comment was, that was my first reaction too, but it must not translate that way in today's world. Well, I got told.
So people are communists now.
No, I'm not saying that at all.
That's not her point.
That is not my point.
That words change meaning.
Exactly. That is exactly my point, because my first reaction, coming from a different generation, was, ugh, why would they? And well, you're not even in the same generation I'm in.
No,
and
but I know, but I read
a lot of history.
Yeah.
So this particular woman then said, she really put her foot in it, and she said, oh, well, I guess it has to do with our age group. Folks 50 and younger just haven't studied history, and we aren't teaching like we used to. Oh, well, right? I mean, I thought that was pretty...
Oh, well, que sera, sera.
Pretty not so horrible, right? And I agreed. Yeah, I said probably correct. Too bad. Well, then, this is all about... My whole point here is about the way language has changed, right? And it has. Language has really changed a lot. So it's just funny because then this guy, I have to tell you this because it's so funny. He thinks that it's a great idea to have these collectives and, it's a great thing. And then he says to the ladies who took issue with the word collective, I would associate the word more with aliens on Star Trek called the Borg, because the city of Reno's annexation policy in the past has also followed a common admonition: resistance is futile.
And robots
I
are
just thought this was funny, right?
hybrid human
Not
robots.
everybody thought it was funny. And so there's my song.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
You just don't know anything.
So to me, it was just an amusing interaction, right? But unfortunately, people don't necessarily think that. However, there was a young lady who is under 50, who has an MA in history, and says she's not at all wary of the word collective, right? It doesn't mean that to her. Mm-hmm. And she's suggesting that instead of being history lessons for kids these days, and more a demonstration, and I quoted her, of the liquid and ever-changing meanings of words in the English language. My question is that true, or are we in Newspeak?
Oh, are you doing 1984?
Yes, ma'am.
I refer to that book all the time,
Yeah,
especially
is this
the Ministry
Newspeak?
of Truth.
Or is this really
not true.
just an evolution of language? And I mean, we can't really answer
think
that
it's-
question, but
well,
we can.
I'm a little
we can
freaked out if it is
suggest.
So
Newspeak.
I think if you name that group, unless you're appealing to gals who have bachelors in world history, you likely ought to choose another title. And I
Well-
suggest there was naivete that
Right.
they didn't even
And-
know what the name was when
Right.
they named the group.
Right, and then this is the city of Reno.
Right.
And that would be my suggestion as well, that they didn't really think about
Yeah.
the fact that how does this, when you're in business, you think about how things, or you should think about how things affect a wide, broad audience, because you're not only appealing to a certain number of people, you're appealing to a broad audience. And I can see, Craig, you got something to say. So
Well, the actual Webster's dictionary version of collective says adjective done by the people acting as a group.
right, and I looked it up too.
Or a noun as a cooperative enterprise.
Yes. And so it doesn't anywhere in the dictionary reference that. However, if you go to socialist collective, it's a whole different ballgame. And the description is very negative. And this is in the it's from it's referenced from the Great Soviet Encyclopedia, but the actual reference is in one of the dictionaries. I'm looking for my reference on that.
You know what? What's interesting is its origin is from 1350 to 1400 Middle English, so it goes a long ways back.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. So I think that my point here is really language has changed, and I get that. I do. And even when I saw it, I knew that they didn't mean that. I didn't think that it was, a socialist thing going on. That was not my perception immediately.
Ed is
However,
trying to disagree.
no, go ahead. Say what you have to say, Ed. You're shaking your head.
Well,
See,
I
even
was
for me.
So
Ooh, you got him riled now.
I know.
no, so
I
it's,
knew I would.
So it's ignorance, right? The word has a meaning. Older folks know it. It's not used now. New people don't know what it means. Just have an idea of what it means and thought it'd be cool to use.
I think it's also.
I think it's total ignorance.
I don't think it's ignorance as much as it's our personal filter and our experience.
Same thing.
Because maybe you could have
That's
some
the same.
young people from Poland or young people from any
Right.
Eastern European country.
Right.
They would probably have a different feeling.
I get,
about
but
it.
this is a Reno thing, right? Somebody's doing it here.
Right. Right. Well, and I think it's interesting though. Is for me, there was an emotional reaction for me. I mean, it really was emotional. I was like,
Was it negative or positive?
very negative.
I didn't
Really?
have an
Very
emotional
negative. I
reaction,
did.
All right,
but
Jan,
I thought
so
I processed it.
What's your thought? Because the Nevada Marketplace with Dave Asher is a collective
It is.
of all these.
I've never liked that word. When I saw the collective down at whatever, for me, it's just a negative.
Yep.
It's the way I was raised. It's the way I grew up. It's the history that I learned, and part of the history of being worried about communism. So, and a subject that I'm pretty well versed in. I've studied a lot of it. I found out later that my grandparents were Russian, and it was like, oh, huh. Right? So I found, other reasons to investigate. But it's just something that to me is a negative word. That doesn't mean it's negative to everybody. And I can find the humor in it. I mean, my goodness, when the guy talked about the Borg, I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
I said, that's
it
better.
sounded like you were having a ball with the whole
I was.
whole thing.
I was having fun, but people get so serious, and this whole language thing is difficult because one side of the aisle is talking about political correctness, and the other side is saying, quit making me being political correct. But it's all about our words, and it's
Right.
all about how we use them and how we interact with each other. And I just really wondered if you guys felt that language has evolved and we're just left in the dust. Is that really the case?
Well, it's like the difference between the pound sign and hashtag.
Exactly. Yeah, big deal. Who cares? I can adapt. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
You want to call it a hashtag? I'm good.
So hashtag me too to this generation.
Right. Oh yes,
Where-
and she did hashtag at the end, by
yeah,
the way.
but
It's
but
not-
but in reality, for me and mine, it's pound me too,
Well, for me, it's
which has a
tic-tac-toe.
whole different meaning of that.
You know,
always
I
was like
use none of
tic-tac-toe.
I use none of those. It's a number sign. I use phone number is, right? And I use it on text as a number sign.
That's funny.
That's what I...
So yes, language has evolved. We just haven't all evolved with it. And I think that we've somewhat, because of social media and because we text and email so much, we've lost our sense of humor.
Yeah.
You know, we've lost that. You're reading it and you're taking it literally instead of like I did. I mean, I really did think that guy was funny.
Well, you can't put emotion into a text message.
No, you can't.
You can't read it from the text message.
I know, and we got a heart break here. We
segment's
gotta
over.
go.
Wow.
It is, yeah, but it was fun. I
Yeah.
enjoyed talking about it,
Short timer.
and I just wanted to.
That's what emojis are for, Craig.
I don't think it's a negative either.
Emotional
necessarily.
text. Yeah.
All right, you're listening to What's the Story? We'll be back after the news, so don't go away, especially if you're on Facebook. Stay with us.
Did you notice how bright Doug is over there now?
He is really bright, isn't he? Among all us dark folks here.
I know.
All in her. You know, I actually was going to wear red today, and didn't happen.
I feel like I wear red a lot, so I went blue.
Yeah.
Well, I tried on 3 different blue things. This was the only
Am
one that
I
worked.
blue?
This is the only thing that didn't fight me, and I didn't think this thing would rip off. So
I can't wait for your segment, Ed.
he's just
He's
dying
riled.
to say.
He is riled today.
I just think it's not even talked to. People would
And
wonder why they don't have sales.
Our new writer, G.D. Fenderson, said, "You are wonderful, Ms. Kempler." So there you go.
Wow, 2 in a row.
Wow.
Goodness, you're on a roll.
Well, I
She's
guess
not
you
gonna
can
be
leave.
able to-
I guess you got that other compliment, so you can leave
She's
now.
not going to be able to get out the door, though.
Yeah.
You know.
That's all right. We can
You
prop.
got it.
We can prop the door open and push.
Yeah, Doug, I was doing that seismic testing with you to test that TV. Hopefully, it won't fall off when she tries to get
So
through.
check your calendar for the 14th. Even if you can just do a short time, I'm probably only going to be able to go for a little while. Yeah, because in case it just depends on if I have anybody that can come over.
Okay. See you
Really
later.
nice,
Bye-bye.
April. Have
Yes, very well done.
Have a
April.
great
Yeah.
afternoon.
Yeah.
Good seeing you.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Mom. My
Wait a
mom's
minute.
listening.
Hey, Mom. Glad you're in, Mom.
I don't know if she can see. I don't know if she can hear.
Was she deaf?
No, but she could be like Facebook video challenged,
Oh.
which
not have to-
we've been. I mean, it says she's joined. I don't know what that means, but
That
hey,
means
Mom.
she should be there.
Yeah,
You could chat with her.
we're
You know,
doing good.
When I was gone, did you see that I joined and watched
did.
you?
Yes.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could see a little bit what I can see over here. It's
Yeah.
nice having that.
Yeah, it is. So I'm kind of in the dark here with.
But,
Yeah, you got to bring your tablet or something.
Yeah, well, the thing of it is,
have an
I wouldn't know
iPad?
how to work it if I did.
Oh. Okay, never mind.
I'm still worried about Y2K.
Oh, Doug.
Yeah. Doug still has Windows 95.
I forgot about that. I think I might even have a computer with that on it. I can lend it to you.
I bet I do too, somewhere.
I have so many computers because I have to get rid of the hard drives. They're
I
all in
have
my
4 or 5
storage.
of them
I have
myself.
Like probably 10, 15.
We should have a party, maybe. We could have it with Steve. And, like, instead of, like, a bonfire
We can
that's
just
dangerous,
stomp
we could,
them out.
I got a big-ass mall.
Oh.
I got a big mall, and we could just, like,
That would be fun.
we could just
should do
split
that.
them up.
Don't you worry about leaving them lay around and all the stuff
They're
that's
in
on
my
them?
storage.
Yeah.
It's probably safer in the bag. Someone's got to open up, get in it, then pull it out.
If they
and
can
they're
get
so
into
slow.
my storage,
Yeah.
good luck.
Even Jan can't.
Well, it's an indoor storage. So, I mean, and in this weather, good luck.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not emptying it yet. Because, No, I have to destroy them. And at the time that all this happened, I just said, just store them.
Kind of the same.
See, that's where we're different. Mine seem to destroy themselves. Oh, damn thing doesn't work anymore. Let's
So
steal.
this is a business thing. I
Yeah.
used to think there was value on stuff on them, right?
Yeah.
You just move on into the next one and do it, and you find them or you don't. So ultimately, they just have a bunch of stuff on them that you've already adapted.
Well, and now with thumb drives, you can, 32 gig thumb drives, you can pull all your documents off onto the thumb drive.
Right.
No matter what computer you use, you got them with you all the time.
Right.
And they're not actually stored on that computer because they're on the thumb drive because you got that drive mapped.
Well, right. I'm thinking about doing a pad of some sort, right? There's no storage on those things. It's just
there
bigger.
is. There's
and
30.
you
You
can
can
see.
go with the 32 gig of storage on them.
Yeah. But just something in between my phone and the laptop.
You know
mean
what
something
is
like this?
See.
What's amazing is when you're talking about something, you can pick up your phone and investigate it. Just in college, you had to take English 101 or English 100 or whatever it was called. It was how to write a term paper, and it took the whole semester to teach you how to do that. And you can write a good term paper now within 2 days.
If you can read and follow instructions.
Oh, that cuts out half the population.
Well, right,
Yeah.
but I'm saying that's the class.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's the class. It's like the process is still the same. You're just looking for stuff at a different source. Your encyclopedia is just quicker.
Yeah. I guess
Google is just quicker than looking stuff up.
I guess my Encyclopedia Britannica, I ought to quit trying to sell them door to door.
Oh, they'll make good door stops.
I think you put them in Jan's office. The things that are
put them with the computers.
Well, there's a renewed interest in old books
There
and
is.
having those things.
Yeah.
The old stuff in her store is stuff that people want.
Yeah,
Bad.
they're going in there and they're like,
Yeah.
wow, that's
Really?
very cool.
Yeah.
We were surprised too. Because some of this, it's not necessarily valuable. You know what I mean? It's not collectible.
Which is cool.
It's more
just
like
cool.
props,
Yeah.
right? There's no books anymore. If you look at models, like home models, they don't put books in them. And they
put computer
it takes
screens
away
and-
from the comfortableness, right? That comfortable books are comfortable for me.
For me too.
And I want to see them on shelves, and I want to have them in the house. But new houses don't have them.
You know, what you said about books are comfortable, that's why and I can't get used to reading on a tablet. I like that book in my hand, in my lap in the morning where I can turn the pages and then put it on the shelf and recommend it. And so
Many people like that.
yeah. Well, you don't hear too much about the difference between the two. Evidently that war has been fought and won on one side or the other.
Well, actually, print came back. It balanced off. It was more with the ebooks, and then once the newness wore off, people started to recognize when they wanted to read in print and when they wanted to read an ebook. I already knew that. I like reading in print, and I
You
read
do?
better in print. But if I were still traveling, like when I traveled
My
down to
brother-
LA,
my
I
brother.
would have a Kindle with me in a
Yep.
second. I would be reading online because I don't want to drag
Here we go.
all those
Yeah.
things. I don't want to drag them on the plane.
Right.
And I used to. It
My
was horrid.
brother's the same.
Yeah.
Stories we've told,
Look at here.
we've told, it's at the end of time. Stories we've
Virginia
told,
Lake water.
Yeah.
Stories
Probably.
we've told, till the end of
Tell her to come back.
Two.
Said someone rise.
Welcome back. This is What's the Story? And I'm Janice Hermsen, and this is our second hour of What's the Story. If you weren't with us for the first hour, you missed a good show. But you can hear a replay, which is awesome. You can go on Facebook and get it there, or you can get it on americamatters.us. And so we want you to listen to the whole thing. It was great. We had the American Cancer Society, Scott Addis, and Nicholas, and then April had an awesome segment.
I know it. I
Reno
may have to
Gal
go.
says.
Good ones.
Yeah.
I may have to go listen to see what I can pick apart from that.
Go back and listen to it again. Take notes.
Yeah.
He's a mean man sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
I am
Every now and
brutal.
then. Every now and then. All right. Well, it is time for us to hear from that mean man. But before you do that, be sure you check out Omega Mortgage at omglending.com or call Ed directly at 775-721-4100. And all that meanness works really well when he's working for you for your loan. And you need somebody tough that can get that done for you. How about that? Did I turn
love
that around?
No, that's exactly right. Right. So Doug gave me some information to listen to, and I'm looking at, right, there's all this stuff, right? All these, I'll say I'm an amiable personality, right?
Sometimes.
Right. It's by choice if I'm not. Right?
That's right.
Mostly.
No, it's true.
And so I am so worked up on sales and selling, right? So if you're an artist or an author or someone who does landscaping or sells mortgage, I mean, you do a job, but if you can't sell, you got nothing to do, right? Getting the business is the business. Right? I don't care what you do. If you got no clients, you got nothing to do. And, right, how many people in sales have asked for the business? Say last week, how many asked? How many people did you ask for a deal? Right? I mean, how many emails you sending out asking for the business? How many people did you personally touch asking for the business?
It's real similar to when you're doing advertising and you forget to do a call to action, right? You have to do a call to action. You've got to ask for it or you don't get.
I have a question here, though, because in my life, having or needing a mortgage wasn't a sales item. It was, hey, I'm buying a house, I need a mortgage. And usually someone recommended go with so-and-so, and you go, okay. There was no...
But you have that time when you needed a mortgage where you had the options of the world available to you. You deferred and went with a recommendation. But what I'm saying is you didn't go online and go, hey, I need a loan, and 5,000 people call you in a minute, right?
Yeah.
You didn't do that.
Well,
but what I'm saying is people were looking for clients, right? They're looking for you because somebody had a referral partner and they recommended you to that referral partner. Their business scored.
Yeah.
Right? Their business scored because they asked the person to refer people to them.
Yes.
Yeah,
but
so
I wasn't in that loop, though. There was no decision on my part. They said, hey, this is the guy we use, and he's done
you
real
went
well.
through like a realtor or whatever.
Yeah.
On a purchase.
Absolutely.
What about a refinance?
A refi? Yeah, actually, I've done my homework on that. You get on the internet and see who's out there and recommended.
Right, but I think that, the internet does mortgage and many other service industries poor because I don't think you can learn what you need to know online.
Oh, absolutely.
Totally disagree.
Well, where do you
on mortgage?
Where do you go then? Then where do you go?
You call someone you know,
and somebody you trust.
Correct.
So they're going to recommend somebody so the decision is already made.
I would hope so for me, right? But that's what I'm saying. That's work that's been done down the road where you've asked people to ask for you, and you're asking for them, right? You're a partner. If I know somebody, right, who's looking to buy a house, right? I know, any number of realtors I can match them with personality-wise, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But, right, it's done. That works in the past.
So what your sales come from and going out and meeting with realtors or meeting with groups and saying, hey, anybody that needs it, here I am, this is my address?
So I would say anybody that needs it, Ed Noel, 775-721-4100. Hey, we do purchases and refinances. Send me the business.
And you have a cadre of people that'll recommend you, right?
I'm one of them.
Yeah,
right.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
that's correct.
And you have literally the blowtorch right here.
Correct.
That's
and how many people am I touching today?
A lot, I hope.
I hope so too.
Yeah. Both of them.
Let's all hope they don't press charges.
Well, not today. Not today. But so seriously, that's it though. All that work of tracking, right? I give you a business operating plan, right? Identify targets, deliver a message, track 100% of the leads. Everybody I meet, their email goes into my database.
Need to do? I need to have this digitally, and I'll put it on the.
Oh, I can email you one. I got
do
one.
that. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this. It's
called Business Operating System. It's provided by Synergy Solutions. But really, when we're marketing or social media, right? There's a new word.
Yeah, that's right. It's in vogue.
What are we doing?
What are we
doing? We're touching people in a positive way about our product or service.
Right.
Most of the time, yeah.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
If you're attorneys in this town and you run TV advertising, you're doing the opposite. It seems to me like they're touching people poorly, right? They're touching people for something that doesn't feel good. To me, I don't think their ads are effective. And I know it's a tough space, but we have to ask for the business. I don't care what we do, right? If we're Jan, right? Or if we're me, or if we're somebody selling a candy bar, what about Hub Roasters, right? They need people in there. How do they get people? You just open the door and they walk in? That doesn't happen. That does never happen. Everybody thinks that, ooh, they got your great idea, and you hold it up and people go, I got one better than that. Right? They don't want your product. I mean, availability and coolness and all that stuff, right? You got to sell it.
That's right. You do.
So
sell. We're
totally sell.
We're going to add his grid here to the whatever. Social media. Whatever. Online on What's the Story. So you can grab a hold of it. If you're in sales, even if you're not, if you're in business, you need to do this.
Ask for the business.
Ask for the business.
And give him the business.
What's the Story? Thank you, Ed Noel. And we'll be right back in a moment.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's give Ed the business.
Yeah, I'll take it, man.
Is that you, Bobby Joe?
Phone number behind me.
Can you see it?
Bobby Joe, is that you?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay.
Welcome, Bobby Joe.
Yeah, I told Jan that I was going to call in. Now Gary was
I've got
a
him.
little
I've
worried
got him.
because
No, he's got
Okay, I figured you did. Okay, good.
Hi, Gary.
How are you?
Good.
My screen went black. Oh, that's me.
That's you. All right, Gary, can you turn on your camera?
I don't know where my phone is. Oh, it's right there. Well, I didn't remember plugging it in.
Jan, have you seen my glasses?
You're a funny man.
All right, Gary, welcome in. All right, I see you there. I'm going to add you into the video now.
Okay, and Craig, Mr. Bryan, just told me that he's not going to be. He's on the set at a show, so he's not going to be.
He's not going to be online.
No,
Oh, we got to make fun of him today.
Okay, I don't see you.
No, you won't see us. I'll send you a clock here in just a minute, but you won't see us.
I'd rather look at myself anyway.
You, Bobby Joe is your friend, isn't he? Okay. All right, so.
Where'd my watch party go? I lost it.
How come we didn't hear about, at the top of the hour, the Hollywood news?
No, that's next segment.
It's coming up.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's the next segment. That's the one that Brian's supposed
It's
to be
always
on.
at
He's not
4:30.
gonna- Yeah, he's not going to be able to make it. So we'll have to chit-chat about what he's doing, and I got a couple of things I can talk about that he's doing, and he provided me with some backup stuff. So, but I'll grill you guys in the meantime.
Medium or well done?
Probably well done.
See,
Well, I just had the news on, but I didn't pay any attention to what's happening. So, Hollywood is all good.
Man, you've been out of there a long time, haven't you?
Yeah. Yeah. I sure have.
All right, stand by, everybody. You know, unfortunately, Jan, I don't think Bobby Joe's going to be able to hear this unless he plays it up on replay.
Oh, you're kidding.
Because he can't hear the commercials online on the phone.
Huh.
I have the it's playing though.
You got to
what's the story on Facebook.
You got to turn that off. Otherwise, we'd get feedback and hearing ourselves on air through your microphone.
Okay, it's
You can watch, but you can't listen.
Right. Here we go.
okay.
Welcome back. This is What's the Story? And Bobby Joe, how do you like that? Oh.
That sounds great. Sounds great. Hey,
We got Chillin with Bobby Joe.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you that drummer was our good buddy Floyd Sneed.
Oh, okay. At the beginning?
Yep.
Yep.
At the where he goes, Grump.
Awesome. Awesome. So we got Floyd, we got you. I mean, we got it all.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. All right. Well, welcome. Time for Chillin' with Bobby Joe, and you've got a guest today.
Yes, I do. I have a dear friend, a world-class Hammond B3 player. In fact, I keep forgetting what the word is, but he demonstrates the Hammond for the Hammond Company and also for Guitar Center. His name is Gary Swan. He's also just a remarkable musician and singer. So I wanted you all to, I'd like to introduce you to a dear friend here, Mr. Gary Swan.
Yay!
I just have one question.
What's that?
Does this shirt make me look fat? Or is it the fat that makes me look fat? I
can't be that.
No way, man. That's not going to
Exactly.
happen.
Well,
hey, Gary,
it's
nice to see you. Nice to talk to you again.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be on KCKQ, and I'm really excited to be here with Bobby Joe. Known Bobby for a long time. Everybody knows he's a virtuoso harmonica player, and he even had his own line with Honer, which is quite a big deal.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, as he mentioned, for me, I'm a artist for Hammond organ, and Hammond organ for people that aren't really into music equipment. It is the organ for rock and roll or jazz or whatever kind. It's always led the industry, and every other keyboard that's manufactured now will have a sound or a patch to copy the Hammond. That's how important it is for all of the records that have been out. They've always used a Hammond B3. So I've been playing one my whole life, and
you've played with a lot of very, very well-known artists.
Yeah, I was blessed to get to those gigs. You know, one usually leads to another. When you're, I started out on the road. I had a kind of a dysfunctional family, which paid off because I was able to go work in nightclubs when I was like 12, 13 years old.
Oh, my.
So, yeah, I was
I'm not
playing
sure
with
that
guys.
really paid off, right?
Yeah, it did. Got me out of the house.
Yes.
And my dad would rent me an organ, and it was $10 a night, and I would generally make about $9 a night. And there was the one night that I actually made $11, and it was, they would pass the tip. It'd be like a beer bar in Richmond, Virginia, where I grew up. And so what happened was I made $1. So I went across the street, and you know those old vending machines that have hot chocolate and coffee, and I bought a hot chocolate, and I was sitting on the back stairs of this bar, dive bar, and that was the moment that I realized that was the first money I ever made playing, that I decided I was going to be a musician from that moment on the rest of my life.
Oh, and you've obviously managed to do that. I see here from your resume that you played with Rita Coolidge, the Pointer Sisters, the Supremes, Etta James, Mary Wells. I mean, this is huge. But one thing that I saw, and Gary and I spoke before the show, and I did not see this before, or I would have asked you. I see that the album Hair is here. Do you play on that as well?
No, I played with Oliver.
Oh, okay.
Who did Good Morning Starshine from the play. And he was actually, I believe, the first star that I played with. I was about 16 or 17 years old.
Wow.
And I got the call to back him up in Hampton Roads, Virginia, somewhere like that.
In order to do that, and I don't know how it is today, but at the time, were you on a list someplace? Were you in a union? How did you get your gigs?
Wow, that's a great question. It was mainly from word of mouth of the musicians. I was kind of in the scene, so like agents were aware of me and the band I was in, so they would be looking for musicians for certain projects. I did the touring band for Steam that did Na 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 Kiss Her Goodbye, and
I can hear the song in my head.
Yeah,
if I could sing better, I'd sing it.
Well, anyway, that was a thing that I was in a band out of Richmond, and they were a great band. And the manager who had the rights to that song and that group, he used us to go out, and we did the touring for that for like 13 weeks. Well, we did it for longer, but it was on the charts for 13 weeks. So I had a background of doing more live performances than the studio work. The studio work, the musicians would come out of the LA area, and like the Wrecking Crew and people like that, Hal Blaine, which I toured with in Europe. And they would, in that day, they would use the people from back east to do the live bands and touring. I guess I had a lot of energy to bring to the live stage.
That's great. That's great. So you and Bobby Joe have known each other for quite some time.
Yes, long time.
And you shared a story with me that happened here in the Reno area. Can you share that again? Do you remember what we talked about?
Yeah, you were asking me about stories, and it's funny. My whole career is, I guess they're all rated X stories for every band. But I got a call that, as he mentioned, Floyd Sneed was the drummer of Three Dog Night, and Bobby brought Floyd and I up to play at the Bunny Ranch, and which I was really
the Wild Horse. Wild Horse.
Oh, it was the Wild Horse, not the Bunny Ranch. That was a different time, right?
I thought you got caught dating yourself there.
That's the transition of those words we were talking about.
Language.
So I didn't know that. I'm corrected now. It was not the Bunny Ranch. I think that means something. I'm not sure.
I'm sure it does.
Yeah. There were girls there that. But I was laughing with Jan because it's like, I had a really nice suit on, and I'm in the bar area, and all these girls are coming up, and they're going, "Oh, hey, how are you?" And I said, "Relax, ladies, I'm in the band." And they went, which I'll tell you that funny story about that. I was playing with the Pointer Sisters in Las Vegas, and I'm walking through, and it was rodeo week. So I'm walking through the casino, and all these girls are coming up to me, and, because they're all working. And one of the roadies says, "Boy, man, you sure are a lady killer." I didn't have the heart to tell him. Nah,
yeah, you get a run with that one.
Yeah.
apparently I was the only one who knew who they were from my experience at the Wild Horse.
So, what's happening these days? And is there anything you want to tell folks to come and see you somewhere? Tell me what's going on.
Oh, no. Get them to stay home. Everybody stay home. I'll come to your house and play. No, I'm actually I'm doing a couple of different projects. I work with an incredible country music stars, Albert Lee, who's a great guitar player, and J.D. Manis, great steel player. Albert, of course, played with everybody from Eric Clapton to Emmylou Harris, plays with Vince Gill. And so we have a band called Wild Country, and we do a couple of shows a year, and I do some rock and roll stuff. Worked with Mark Farner from Grand Funk not too long ago, and I'm working on an album. I'm trying to finish it up. I'm probably on the second year with it. It's called Wheels on the Bus. And basically I go out every week and play with different bands. My forte, I guess, is to just go sub and play with different artists. And that came about by Billy Preston was a friend of mine, and excuse me. And I heard he had this ability to just go on stage and play without ever having to rehearse. And I thought, well, that's a great skill to have. So that's what I basically ended up doing. Was my friend who was Rita Coolidge's keyboard player, when he couldn't make it, they would call me, and I just basically go in and do the show with literally no rehearsals.
Wow. I'm going to have to cut you off, I'm afraid. We've got to cut to a break, but I've enjoyed talking with you and listening to your stories. And Bobby Joe, thank you for bringing Gary on.
Hey, I love you guys.
Betcha.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure.
All right. Well, we got to
All
go.
right.
Sorry about that.
Awesome
Gotta
stuff,
take a break.
gentlemen.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right. You're listening to What's the Story? We'll be right back. Thank you, Gary. That was great. Sorry
Thank
I had
you
to
so
cut you
much.
off.
Keep in touch.
Yes, you too.
Good luck to you,
Don't
sir.
stop,
Awesome
though.
stuff.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Talk
All
to you
right.
soon.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thanks, Bobby Joe.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Nice. That's a total cool story.
I think so.
Except that people who don't live here don't know what the
I
bunny
know.
ranch is.
I know. Well, I was going to explain, but I didn't want to interrupt. So.
Well, that's where I
They
was
can
telling
look it
him.
up.
Hadn't it been the bunny ranch like 5 years? So he's dating himself. Right? I think he's been there recently.
Oh, no, there's still a bunny ranch down in Carson City on Highway 50.
No, I know it, but I thought it was.
No, there's 5 brothels right there within a half a mile, and one of them's the bunny ranch, and it's still there.
Now, how
in fact,
the heck
there's a
do you
bunny
know
ranch.
that?
There's 2 bunny because I drive Uber and Lyft. I drove Uber and Lyft.
But the bunny ranch, it's not like been around for 30 years,
Oh, no,
has it?
Yeah, it's.
I thought it was newer.
No.
And they still have
And
the
Wild
same
Horse.
girls.
Wild Horse is actually Mustang.
Oh, is it?
It's what was renamed Wild Horse is now it's Mustang.
Huh.
You sure you want us all to go there?
Hey, a little. Well, for those people that are on Facebook Live are hearing this, a little known fact for Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, and cab drivers, you get a kickback for taking people out there.
Nice.
And it's 20% of what they spend.
Wow.
I am not kidding. One of our drivers, one of our Lyft drivers, had 6 passengers, guys that were in for a bachelor party weekend. Took 6 of them. They were there for 3 days. Her check was $13,000 on her kickback. Her money.
Nice.
Of which then you give a kickback to the bartender for making that arrangement.
Wow. I'm in the wrong business.
I know, right?
Well, you knew
And
where.
I don't mean being there. I mean
and
driving them.
And here's the thing. She also not only had that happen, but on both sides of those, she had just got back from a ride from Reno, Tahoe to Salt Lake City. She had got back then, before she could even get home, she got that trip to the bunny ranch. Then 3 days later, she was waiting for the call. She thought they forgot to call her to come out and pick up her package, and she got the package. And then as soon as she got home from the package, she got a ride up to Boise, Idaho.
Wow,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
So here's the deal, though. So you go in there, right, and you choose a gal.
This is all.
That's no. It's the same as buying a candy bar, right? You're picking one. They got to sell you. I was
going to say this is what I was. That's why I was tapping you about Gary.
Yeah.
Was sell.
Right.
He sold himself.
Right.
Right.
He did.
Yeah, this pretty much sells itself, though.
No, it does not. The girl. The individual, the event, but not the product.
Well,
not the individual.
if they've been there for 30 years, I hope they update their stock that they have there.
I can't speak.
Boy, that's
775-237-2266. Now back to the show.
It's the Hollywood Rockin' Wrap-Up with your host, Jason Hadley. Wendy Williams took a hard stance declaring she will be the one to decide when her talk show goes off the air. Thankfully, her format also works for a cooking show, as she's already an expert at stirring the pot 5 times a week. Chris Cuomo became enraged during a public appearance after an onlooker yelled out an Italian racial slur. In fact, Chris Cuomo is so fiercely proud of his Italian heritage, he got his journalism degree from What's a Matter You? An upcoming Billie Eilish music video scene required the singer be covered in tar. Otherwise, they would once again have to utilize gravity to forcibly recoat her in the high volume of petroleum-based fluid. While technically the accurate term in this case, you can't say retard anymore. Please be sure to address all complaint letters to the Hollywood Rockin' Wrap-Up, care of your station. And that's the Hollywood Rockin' Wrap-Up. Follow us on Twitter at Rockin' Wrap-Up.
Welcome back. This is What's the Story. Please address your letters elsewhere.
I was going to say that Hollywood Rockin' Wrap-Up is like rockin', isn't it?
He is rocking. Well, he took a little time off, I think, and he regrouped.
Yeah.
What can I say?
He got energized.
He got energized. And normally this would be our time to welcome Brian T. Shirley to the BTS Entertainment Corner. And unfortunately, or fortunately, Brian is on the set doing some work. So he can't be here. He's busy working.
He can't sell himself because he's like
He's
doing his job.
He's already
That's
sold.
right. He's already sold.
That's right. But he did give me a few. Yay! There you go. I like it. He did give me some notes, however, to let you know.
Oh, wow.
He is signed. What can I tell you? He is signed.
He's a collective.
I'm going to tell you that he won't like that word. Oh, no, right now.
I'm pretty sure. Yes, well, he asked me to share with you that for the Forbidden Power movie won Best Feature Film in a New York Cinematography Award. And in addition, the Best Picture for the Hollywood Film Festival, Best Science Fiction Feature Film, Oklahoma BB Film Festival. Just many. Very cool. Very
Good.
cool.
Yeah.
So he wanted to share that information because, he always updates us on what's going on out there and who's winning what. And I am not your best person for that. He is. That's why he's here. But I can share what he has. And I do have some news, and I don't know why it didn't print out on my notes here. I have your grid, though, so...
Did you see? I sent it to you. It's in color, too.
Boy, that's a heck of a sales job.
Yeah, heck of a sales job. But I do have some good news, and it just chose not to be on my notes. However, I'm pretty sharp, and I keep those notes on my computer, too. So I'm just going to jump here to my notes on my computer, because I know even if my printer fails me, my computer does not.
I was going to say, what's it say?
Sell.
Yeah. Only when you're around. Oh, wow. Maybe I lied. No, I didn't lie. Here it is. All right. So Brian is opening for MJ Live September 14th in Savannah at the Civic Center. Do you know what MJ Live is?
No.
It is Michael Jackson. It's a
Like a
tribute.
tribute
Yes,
band?
it's a tribute show, starring, and I'm going to massacre this name. It's Jalles Franca, the nation's #1 Michael Jackson tribute artist, and he is opening for him.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's going to be a good gig. He says, or maybe not, because most of the time it's hard for comedians to come in prior to music. So it might be awful. He says, but at least I can say I did it.
So I gotta
right?
I gotta call BS on Brian right on that
Why?
stuff. Well, because everybody who does late night
Because he's
TV,
mad.
virtually every entertainer who's on TV now is a past comedian or an active comedian. All the late night shows,
It's
all the
true.
sitcom people.
But his point is that if you're going for a music show like Michael Jackson, right, you aren't necessarily looking for a comedian to be there. That was his point.
I get it, but I think tribute bands.
You just like to argue.
Maybe I do. I do. But tribute bands it's not the music, it's the whole
Well, it's the memory,
show.
but he does, and this
They've
particular...
kind of sold that to you, haven't they?
Right. This particular tribute artist really does, mimic the artist well, apparently. He's apparently really,
Nice.
really good. So they're kind of in because, you can't have Michael Jackson, so,
Right.
So this is the next best thing, and
I'm not sold. I didn't buy a ticket. Right? That's what it's about.
Yeah.
Buying the
he's going to go
tickets.
back to selling.
Yeah.
You're going to sell again.
We got to sell.
Oy. What can I tell you? And that's all the news I have from Brian, I'm afraid. I wish he could be here, but it's good that he's working. It's good that he's got some stuff going on.
Yeah, he's been, in my time around and on the show, right? He's come a long way. I know, right? It's that
seems like
overnight.
things-
It's that overnight
overnight success,
success
yeah.
from
20
working
years.
for 20 years,
Exactly,
right?
yeah. Exactly.
From doing the work and coming out, and
He sold himself.
He gets out of his element and gets seen, and he is selling himself, but so we can go down that route, right? It's a tough space, like your space as an author, right? Entertainers get asked to do stuff for free all the time. Their space of getting paid is really small and defined.
Because you have to do the free in order to get the paid.
Right.
Because how can they know if you're any good and if you draw a good audience?
Right.
And I guess with comedians, what I learned from Brian is they count how many laughs in a minute.
It's
and
ridiculous.
Oh my goodness! That's way too much pressure for me. If I'm trying to
not
make
only
you
that,
laugh, I
they're-
certainly don't want to worry about how many
They're
times.
always on stage. They're never off
Yeah.
stage. I think they have to have kind of a proclivity to that type of personality, just to be that way, to be up and tell stories like that.
Yeah.
So they're always
and it is.
on.
It's all about storytelling.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you have to be able to have that punchline in the right place and the timing and
with-
oy.
We went to see Johnny Mathis here in Reno, and my wife absolutely hates comedians. And had she have known there was going to be a comedian, she probably wouldn't have gone. But it was Johnny Mathis.
Oh, come on, it's Johnny Mathis. She
That's
would have gone
exactly
forever,
right.
man.
Well-
I know Johnny Mathis.
It started.
Chances are-
Johnny Mathis starts. He starts his own program. He didn't have a warm up, and this comedian comes on in the middle of his show, and within 2 minutes, my wife not only was laughing, she was slapping her leg laughing.
Oh.
She enjoyed this guy
we need
so
to make
much.
sure that Brian hears this so that he can feel encouraged.
That was. But what? Has Johnny Mathis ever done a bad show? Do you think?
I doubt it.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. I don't know his current status, right? I mean, he was a singer in the early 60s.
Well, he's in his 80s now, and he's still performing. He's down in
Really? Well-
Sacramento the next week or so, I think.
So he must have been in his 20s then when my mom was listening to albums, right? My mom's about that age, and I
He used to
remember
sing.
listening to albums. She had albums playing of
They
Johnny
did it off
Mathis.
the
Had to be in
we
the-
might have to describe what an album is.
Oh yes, it's one of
Language
those
has
vinyl.
evolved.
It's one of those circular
It's vinyl
plastic
now. It's
things
vinyl now.
with grooves.
Well,
it's got a hole right in the middle.
Wait a minute, is that the big one or the little one?
The little one, because the CDs are vinyl as well.
Yeah.
So you got to clarify.
Oh really? I didn't know CDs
See how
were
language
vinyl.
has evolved? You don't even know.
No, I don't think it's language has evolved, right? People just can't find words for other stuff, so they're lazy and use old words.
I think that's right.
Well, the only reason I use old words is because it's the only ones I can remember.
Well, they're the ones on the TV shows I watch, right? They're like I think I saw that on Have Gun Will Travel this weekend.
Oh, no. You're really bad.
And the Lone Ranger?
No, I love Paladin. Paladin is so awesome.
My God.
Right?
Gunsmoke. Oh, that's a politically incorrect show now, isn't it?
Hey, we're going to have an article about guns.
Well, right. Especially
We'll
when they
cover
show
that.
Festus in the jail smoking like cigs,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Oh, my goodness.
I love political incorrectness. I just love it.
I have a story about that, too, but I won't tell it right
You
now.
know, which brings
Not
up
somebody in Taco Bell.
kind of a quick question. What do you suppose the environment would be now if we didn't have political correctness?
I have no idea. It'd
Wouldn't
probably
that be
pretty
amazing?
boring.
Yeah.
I was going to say, let me light up a smoke and let's find out.
Oh, my God.
Oh, there we
I
go.
think that was important for that music
Yeah,
to
that was
start.
good. I think it was.
All right. We're going to be right back for our last segment. Do not go away. This will be a good one. We'll talk to you in a couple minutes. Oh, my
That
goodness.
was funny.
You know, about all of those programs we all knew.
I love it. No, I get all happy when like Perry lights up.
Yeah.
What do you think? And they're smoking.
Doesn't it feel kind of uncomfortable, though, when you see that on the...
No, you know what?
No? It
what?
does to me.
Marcus Welby, MD, smoking in the hospital. Those are uncomfortable. Perry smoking at his office.
That's okay, huh?
Yeah, yeah. You're paying to be there. But the hospital? All right. Those guys, seriously, they used to smoke in the hospital.
It's true, they did. Blowing it.
I know.
Yeah, how about we?
He's going to just fall apart here. What about?
No, Debbie had a doctor's appointment. Right next to this doctor's office, there was the Cancer Institute. And it's raining, and I watched this older woman come out and walk about 2 doors down from the entrance to the Cancer Institute so she could smoke.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, my God.
It's the addictive behavior.
Oh,
She's
man.
gonna do something.
Yeah.
Smoking's like the least dangerous, probably.
I don't know about that.
Addictive behavior. You don't have it. You don't know.
What? I don't? Oh, please.
Come on, Doug. I'm reading your book. You're so between the lines. It's just like no one's that good. It's so awesome.
Maybe he didn't tell the truth in his book.
Yeah, there you go.
I know that is not true. I
These
know.
are stories, Ed. Stories.
No, they're not. I can put a magnifying glass on them and they hold up.
Wait till you get to the good ones.
But that addictive behavior, that's why they do it. They can't stop.
Yeah.
I mean, it's beyond, whatever.
Well,
Alcoholics
I
die, don't
think
get sober.
It's your footprint in history, too. When we were growing up, there was no taboo about smoking. You know
That's
what?
true.
So,
what did it for me was the warning on the cigarette pack.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
if
For sure.
Hey, just be glad it's not the warnings they have in Europe. Diseased lungs.
Yeah, they were talking about doing that here.
Yeah. It was shot down before already.
Well, the fact is, more percentage of folks smoke over there than here.
Oh, yeah.
Well, so it's obviously working.
They should give the clip note version and say, smoke these, you'll die.
I just think that what's the options? Vaping, sticking patches on, doing IVs.
Yeah, vaping that you don't know what the chemicals are actually doing because they haven't been around long enough.
Smoking's less dangerous than all the alternatives. I think.
Stand by. Getting a lot of cable noise.
I'm clipped.
Me too.
Oh, I'm unclipped.
Oh.
Well, it was clipped. I clipped it. It's clipped.
April, Jan's shirt's getting ripped off.
5, 4, 3. Nope, not really. Disregard.
You just wanted to test us. See if we were listening. Probably not. Welcome back. This is What's the Story?
Hooty-doo.
What's the story? You know, hey. I don't know what the story is. Do you?
I do.
Oh.
If you are looking for hassle-free publishing and printing, visit lrpnv.com. You get quality printing and publishing for writers and business. Go to lrpnv.com, or you can contact Janice at
Janice at
pnv.com.
Is that great or what?
That was awesome.
No,
Thank you
he has
so
he just
much.
Took he just took April's job.
He did, didn't he?
You know what?
Not really, April. I didn't take your job.
Well, just think, Ed, if you took April's job, you could leave an hour early.
You know what? I don't want to leave. I like this thing. You know what? I was thinking if I was good at that, maybe someone would hire me to do it.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, sell.
Dreamer.
Yeah, and you've got a great voice for doing it too. That's amazing.
So
Yeah.
we've been told many times
yeah.
that he has a wonderful voice.
Yeah.
A voice for radio.
Not by me.
Yeah.
So I don't really have anything for this segment.
Well, you know what?
But I know you do.
You know, thank you.
Yeah. See, that's why I don't.
Well, this is kind of a positive story. It fits.
You call that a positive story?
Hold it. Cue angels.
But
Yeah, exactly.
And it'll be completely politically correct. How can I start this saying this is a positive story? It
I'm
will
not
end
sure.
up a
It will
positive.
end up a
This
positive
is first
story.
responders.
Oh,
And
that's
it has to do with the mass shootings in El Paso, Texas.
Oh.
Where there were 22 people killed and 24 others injured. Now, how can you say that this is going to be a positive story? Well, I got this, being a retired firefighter, I still get stuff that's sent, on the internet all the time. And one of the things, the old local, the firefighters local 1014, they were together with a coalition of other firefighters from LA County, LA City, Oxnard, Arizona, and New York Fire Department. And they got together with all of their peer counseling people, because who rescues the first responders? Now, first responders are literally, sitting at the coffee table one minute, and then the next minute they're trying to save the lives of over 40 people. So, and nobody really pays attention to the first
Well,
responders.
it's become fairly
Yeah.
natural. You expect it. It's an expected
Exactly. You
response.
expect them to be there. You expect them to go home. And
Not
hug
that
their
you don't
kids.
appreciate them, just
Yeah.
that you do expect it.
Yeah, exactly. So this
When
whole,
I pick up 911, they're
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah. Well, this was a whole coalition that went back to El Paso to counsel all of the firefighters, and they did it in their 35 fire stations on all three shifts, and to hospital workers too, which really you wouldn't think they would need it, but they do. There's over 1,000 people that they did counseling to. So, probably pre-stress counseling. But I thought it was very interesting that it came literally from the union that did it. And, it doesn't, and it seems that's what history has taught me with the fire department. The changes that we've had all started from the bottom up. So I think there's a lot of credit to be given, to these people that actually went out of their way, went back there and counseled those people. So I was really proud of them.
That's great.
Yeah. Wasn't that a good story?
Yeah, it is a good story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is indeed.
Yes, very much so. No, the story I thought you were going to talk about is the
can.
one you handed me
Oh,
about
yeah.
Tate Publishing, because you are an
Yeah.
author that used Tate Publishing, and they had been accused of embezzling, and you were a part of that whole process.
Yep,
So
yep.
you want to update what the
Sure.
latest is on that?
Okay,
Because
yeah.
we've been talking about this for years. Literally.
Let me see my notes.
Oh, I thought you had them.
No.
Well, let me give them back to you. This is by Terry Groover as of July 27th, 2019.
Yeah, this is the latest, and again, I just plucked this off today. I really hate talking about this because it's dredging up old stuff that, Tate
Painful.
Publishing and the two founders of it were really living the high life off of our dime. And they embezzled a lot of money, and they were, convicted of racketeering. They found I think it was 22 felonies against them, and they could spend 20 years in jail. But what the district attorneys thought is that it's better that they're out of jail. Maybe they can make money. Maybe they can, some of the money that they've hidden or whatever, I don't know.
This sounds like a payoff to me. Sorry, I'm just going to say it. Everybody's thinking it. I'm going to say it.
Yep.
Yeah. It's there has been there's 500 people that are confirmed as victims of Tate's scheme to embezzle funds and materials. The total restitution is expected to be around $900,000. Well, the total count of it was, it was 44 counts guilty of embezzlement, attempted extortion, conspiracy, and a pattern of criminal behavior. Wonder what a pattern of criminal behavior is.
Yeah. And then you let them off?
Yeah, that was my thought. Yeah.
Best I can tell, they're encouraging folks to set these up all over the country, right?
Habits, yeah.
The only way to beat this is just to use Jadan.
Yeah.
Right? 24/7.
So, but anyway, the good news is
sell.
Actually, there was 2,200 people that actually have been filed complaints against them. And I don't know how they jumped from 500 to 2,200. I put my name in the mix. I don't know where I am on the list, but they're supposedly going to share the pot of 900,000. Who knows? You know, if you get a dime back, you're doing well.
I was going to say, Equifax, I'm just trying to get like 1 month free, like monitoring, even though they've given my soul away to everybody around the country and a million others.
Well, here's the part, Janice and I talked about this because we've talked about it till the cows came home. In November, the pair agreed to relinquish their rights to the material, which includes books, music, videos, and other materials. So we're free to go anywhere we want.
Because prior to this, you were hindered. They owned his rights.
Yeah.
And he couldn't even publish his own book, despite the fact that they weren't doing anything with it.
And despite the fact that they were literally at the doorstep of the jail. So.
And not only that, they had tried to charge $50 for them to get their rights back.
Yeah.
They wanted you to pay $50.
Well,
they're being arrested. And
Janice, it was even worse than that. They said, you give us $50, and this is where the extortion came from. We will give you your stuff back. But you also relinquish any rights to further litigation towards us.
Yeah.
So that's when the district attorney threw in the towel and said, okay, that's enough.
That's extortion.
It sounds like a medical prescription. Exact same thing.
Well, they did a very, very poor job of selling themselves.
I disagree with you. They did a whale of a job selling themselves.
Yeah.
Look at all the people they sold.
Yeah, not only
right.
that,
Look at all the
took their
people they
money.
cheated.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Well,
but you got to be able to be good to do that.
Yeah, and part of that story is that this was a company that I had looked at because looking at our own company, we were growing, right? And I looked at different models of how businesses like ours were doing business to see how can we grow, how can we, make this a bigger company. These guys they were moderately small, but they had expanded.
They had
so I was
employees
and I'm looking at them saying, well, how can we do something like that, right? Yeah. So they were sort of a model. They were Christian. I mean, they had a lot of good things to tick off.
Good bullet points.
Right.
Yeah.
And, and I knew Doug, and I knew Doug had published, and he had been there. So, I mean, these are all things. So you're starting to build your own model, and then you find out they're getting arrested, and you're like, oh, yeah, that's probably not who I want to follow, right?
I'm going to say, though,
what's interesting, this goes right to, obviously they did a good sales job on me, because my wife and I went back to Mustang, Oklahoma, and interviewed them.
Yeah.
And they for all intensive purposes, you say, hey, this is a class outfit. Look at all the and we were treated like royalty when we were there. So
I hate to say this, but most organizations using any kind of religion, right? You pay premium for that.
Yeah.
Right? Whether they use it correctly or not. I'm just saying you're not a price brand, whether you're a trucking company or a printing company, and more often than not, there's a little sleaze factor in there. It's unfortunate and it's wrong, but it gives folks a horrible name.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, it does.
It does.
I want to go back to the shooting, because this was also stated, and I can't believe it. It says this could be a possible act of domestic terrorism and possibly a hate crime. How do you kill 24 people or 22 people and injure 24?
All
and have
about usage of language.
This one way to end up, huh? Yeah, it's just how all in the way you look at it.
That's
Huh?
right. That's right.
Yeah, that's amazing.
We have to be careful with our words. And I guess I respect that to a degree because too often today, people are not being careful with their words.
No.
They're accusing. They're
People just
you
go
know.
personal,
Yeah.
right? Why don't
Yeah.
we just talk about stuff in
Right.
the format and talk with others, right? I mean, every one of you guys at this table, right? We've gone places, but we've just talked about subjects,
Right,
right?
not
We all have
personal
different
about it.
opinions,
Exactly.
and I value that because you can get deep, you can solve problems.
Right, right.
You can also sell.
All right. Well, we're going to do that right now because we have to go. But we always want to hear from you. So you can find me on Twitter at Jan Hermsen23, at lrpnv.com. Contact us. That's an easy way to get in touch. Janice at lrpnv.com. And, contact the station. They'll find me. All right. This is What's the Story. We'll be back next week.
Love you guys.
Bye.